The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
Hello and welcome to another Video Games to the Max. Of course, the official video games podcast at W2Mnet.com, where you can find all of our great reviews, articles, and other things that we do that are not video game related. And I am your host, Sean Garmer. This is episode 153 of the podcast. And with me, as always, Mr. Marc Morrison.
Howdy.
Alright, well, there is a Nintendo Direct that happened yesterday that we will get into. Quite a few things announced from there. There's other, Xbox Scorpio finally announced their official specs and all that stuff, and more things, but, since the last time we've had a podcast, only a little game called Persona 5 has come out. So, we kind of need to talk about it. Both you and I have the game. You've played it a heck of a lot more than I have. So, Mr. 35 hours in.
Yeah, I just beat the fourth big dungeon, so that's pretty good. I like it a lot. It has some quirky things going on in it that kind of detract from the experience overall, but I like the characters. I really like the game world and how it looks, and the sound and look of the game, and even the battles are pretty fun. But there's way too much dialogue. When you're trying to plan a heist, it's just nonstop. And the game takes control away from you way too much.
What do you mean by taking control away from you?
Traditionally, it's go to school, and then you have 2 periods after school to do stuff, afternoon and evening. So you can hang out with your friends and build social link stuff, or earn money, or raise your stats and knowledge and guts and all this stuff. And when you're trying to plan for a heist, you have no free time, whatsoever. It literally takes away free time from you, because you always have to you're always talking to your friends about planning the heist, and it's can't they just do this in one damn day? Why does it have to take 12?
Yeah, exactly. You're having to go. I mean, I've only played till the first dungeon or whatever, but just in that, it takes it forever just to get to that point, and then
the first dungeon of the 4 I've played, the first dungeon is the longest and the biggest, and
well,
that's That's kind of a detriment, because it's I don't it is a long ass dungeon. So luckily there are save rooms so you can hop out of the dungeon and rest up and stuff, but it takes forever to get to that one. And the next 2 are super simple, and the 4th one I just played through was a little more complicated, but nowhere near as bad. But the battles are fun. I still don't like it. If your main character dies, it's game over. That really irks me.
Yeah, that's one of those old JRPG tropes that won't die, I guess.
There are skills you can unlock in the social stuff where it's oh, you're if you're really good friends with a character, they'll take a fatal hit for you instead of you. But it's they're still alive, and they have restorative items. Why don't they just use it on me?
Yeah, it's not as streamlined as you think it should be at this point, but I think it's also they want to keep some of that old school kind of thing in there. I like the. I mean, from the little bit I've gotten to play, I like the it goes back and forth into the story stuff, uh, where you're getting interrogated and then you're goes into the other place and then you go back to the
Well, the
the
entire
normal
game
world.
takes place in flashback, at least from what
Right.
I've seen. I think it comes to a head at a point, but yeah. And then like once you find a new person to have a relationship with, like it flashes forward again, and you talk to the prosecutor for a few more minutes, and then you flash back again. So it's actually kind of cool.
So are you liking the pace and everything compared to the other games, or?
It seems it's weird. It seems both more hurried and more like relaxed. Like it's hurried in that like the people are always on their ass to like go to the dungeon and like get it done as quick as possible, which is fine. But then it's relaxed and like, well, you can't always like if you want to get like skilled up with a character, you can't always like depend on them to like actually do it or be interested in what you want to do. That's kind of a pain. I just unlocked my first girlfriend in the game, so that's kind of fun.
Are you gonna stick with her, or are you gonna?
I don't know. I don't think you can. I hooked up with the doctor, which is kind of funny. She's like at least 6 years older than my character.
Right.
I don't know if you can like break up with people or not with women. I should say. There's like 3 that I'm kind of like courting. There's a doctor, the teammate, and then your teacher you can hook up with, which is pretty funny.
Well, I mean, like, you can say certain things to make it to where they're not as into you or whatever, right?
Oh yeah, where's the fun in that?
Yeah, but I meant like if you wanted to go with one over the other or whatever. I mean, I don't know how that eventually.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't know if you break up with one to go with another, or if it's you can be with like 8 women at once or something.
I wonder if they're ever going to, Persona 6, if they ever get into letting you be gay. I guess since that is a huge deal to a lot of people.
I
You know.
I doubt it, like personally, because it's a JRPG. Like that's not important to that culture that much.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, they have it in a lot of games, right? There's 3DS games that only get released in Japan. It's about, you know, boy on boy love and that kind of thing. But it's still like outside of art, it's not this thing that's like totally accepted over there. It's still sort of in that middle ground where it's starting to get more acceptance, but it's not. And to have a big game like this, yeah, you can say, okay, we'll try to make a social stand and all that stuff, but in a big game like this, you also kind of don't want to piss people off. You want people to make sure they're buying your game. I mean, I don't know that that's going to make people not buy it, but
I saw some criticism like, why can't you play as a female character? And it's like, yeah, but where do you draw the line? Like at that point, why can't you play as like some transgendered, cross-dressing Eskimo character? I mean, they have a male character because I hate to say it, but men developed that game probably, or at least most of them did, and except for like some Persona, I think Persona 3 Fez. No, I think it was Persona 4 Golden. That was the only one that had a female hero, and that was pretty minor in the grand scheme of things.
Right, but is it like where it let you choose between the two, or is you a female hero?
No, I let you choose.
Okay.
Persona 4 originally had a male hero, and then I think it was Golden. They had like introduced like a female, and relationships do change based on that. Like you start hooking up with the male party members instead of the female ones, obviously.
Right. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's one of those like where in the main game they didn't want that, and that if they release a Vita version down the line, or they release a equivalent to that.
I don't think a Vita version is coming anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Atlas is releasing a Vita game like at the beginning of the month in May, surprisingly. So you never know, but
Yeah, but that's not going to take 40 gigabytes.
oh no, it's not. I'm just saying that probably not. Just if I don't know if they're going to release some kind of enhanced edition or if it's going to be DLC added in. People complain so much they'll add it in as DLC that you can change the gender of your character or whatever. But you know,
I mean, they could do that, but that would probably require a lot of work, like just a lot of vocal work and stuff like that. If you get like the voice actors back in to record their re-record some of their lines.
yeah. Because then you have people complaining about, oh well, why is the woman's part never voice acted and whatever then and all that stuff. So,
but yeah, I really like it. I'll play it, I'll finish it, and then I'll probably play it again because I want to get in a New Game Plus because a lot of stuff carries over, which will make the game a lot easier.
oh, I'm sure. So, yeah, you've also been playing that Bulletstorm full clip edition.
Oh yeah, what a winner! No, I mean Bulletstorm's fine. I mean, it's of an age, and even when it came out, like it was still weird. Even when it came out, because the enemy, like the leash is cool, and a lot of the weapons are pretty interesting, but the enemies are just so dumb. They just run towards you constantly, and like that's what they're like. That's all they do.
Really?
It's almost like a serious Sam game.
Yeah, I mean, I remember playing it on my is it 360?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was mindless, just blow stuff up game, you know.
And the only two things I'll say is, I was talking to you earlier about it, but the skill shot system always feels at odds with the game. Because they're like, oh, you get extra points if you kill this guy in this way. But it's never really easy to do. And
yeah, it tells you about that. It tells you about that and you're like, well, this is annoying. Like, I'd rather just do it the normal way and I don't have to deal with this crap.
Yeah, it's like, well, if you use a thumper and you flip, like, 5 guys in the air and then you, like, alt-fire them with the assault rifle, you get, like, a lot of points. And it's like, yeah, or I can just headshot all of them. I mean, that's a lot easier.
Exactly.
And
why make it harder for yourself?
Yeah. And the Duke Nukem voice pack is terrible.
I imagine. Does it actually sound like Duke Nukem? Or?
Oh, they got the guy. They got John St. John to do it. Right. But it sounds a lot louder than like the normal voice acting in the game. And who wants to play as like Duke Nukem?
Well, like I said, they're making a remastered version of one of his games, so apparently Gearbox does.
Well, that already came out. I mean, there was like a Duke Nukem that came out like last year for PS3 or PS4, I should say.
Is that the anniversary whatever thing?
Yeah.
Okay, well, never mind then.
That was terrible. And it's like, I mean, if you're gonna take a what is it? Who makes Borderlands?
It's Gearbox.
Gearbox. Thank you. If you're gonna take a Gearbox character, take Claptrap or Jack or someone, or at least someone people have somewhat of an affinity for, not like fucking Duke Nukem.
Yeah, that's gotta be an epic thing. Like, hey, let's put Duke Nukem in here and he'll make people want to buy the game. Like, no, he won't.
It's also way too much money. Like, I mean, I got it for free, so I can't complain, but I'll bitch about it in the review. But $50 for that thing is like way too much.
Well, imagine, I think it was $60 when it originally came out. Yeah, but
that was new. Like,
right. But there's nothing different in that game, so yeah, I agree with you. What, 40 or 30, I think, would have been much more reasonable.
I would say like 30 would be a good price, honestly, but not 50. And the way Gearbox is selling games, like you see Battleborn and like five below nowadays, like stacks of that game. It's like, holy.
Yeah. But never when that game was supposed to be something great.
I feel that way about half of Gearbox's games. Like, they're such a hit or miss developer.
Poor Gearbox. So, yeah. Anything else here?
I got another Wii, and I started playing a little of Smash Brothers Brawl. That's okay.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Smash Brothers Brawl. Always had fun with that game, honestly.
My original Wii, like, can't read that disc.
You explain this to me. It can't read like the dual layer disc or something like that?
Yeah, so I have two of those, and can't read that, and it can't read the last story. And I said, great.
Well, that sucks.
I only got 6 Wii games, and those are 2 of them, so...
Have you ever played a lot through Last Story?
No.
No? Oh.
I barely even opened it.
Well, now you can.
I've heard it's decent, like, but it has a pretty weird control scheme from what I read.
Yeah, the last Mistwalker game. So.
Before they turned to a mobile developer.
Ugh. Boo. You made, like, a great game in Lost Odyssey, and you made a good game in Blue Dragon and Lost Story, and then you had to go make mobile games. Ugh.
And he gave me a Planescape Torment to review, but I have no computer right now, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll definitely see how that goes. Hopefully it doesn't take too long for the computer to get back here. But, yeah, I did, I played like a couple levels of Mr. Shifty on Nintendo Switch that came out this week. It's pretty much like Hotline Miami if you were Nightcrawler. So, literally.
Are you blue?
Yeah, your guy has a sort of blue silhouette, and he wears like this red hat.
Okay.
And he literally, his name is Shifty. So, like, it has like some, pretty dialogue that's up with the times, if you want to say that. It's pretty much just like without the contrived like, oh well, now I have to sit there and it's basically like if Hotline Miami was a little bit more free as to how you want to deal with the enemies, because you have the ability to do the teleporting thing like Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
But you're limited into how many you can do at a time. You have to wait till, so you have 5 of them, and you have to wait until you're it recharges a little bit to be able to so you can't constantly just go around the level and teleport or whatever. You have to sort of think about what you're doing, because if you run into a bunch of the freaking things with guns, and there's certain parts of the level where it'll just be really simple, and then you get to a certain part of the level, and it's like, oh, these things have like Tommy guns, and they shoot me once, I'm gonna die. So this is great. So it's cool. There's strategy, but it's not like and there's no blood splurting or whatever like that. So if you were in a Hotline Miami because you saw the blood splurting everywhere, it's a very safe version of that. But it's really fun, and I'm liking it so far. I got through like the first 2 stages, so definitely it's on PC too. So if you don't have a Switch, you can get it on PC, and hopefully you should enjoy it. Has-Been Heroes is decent. It's a roguelike, and it bothers me. Like, so you have these 3 things on a line. You have the 3 characters on a line. And I've only gotten through to the part where you get the 3 characters because I keep dying at the boss of the first stage. And so it's like, it's also randomly generated how you get through the map. So literally, I didn't have to do one single battle one time until I got to the boss. Then I get to the boss and I died. and it like you have to constantly keep changing the row that your guy is in, and then change it with the other guy, change it with the other guy, and it's really annoying. And like I feel like there could have been an easier, much more direct way to do it, and it felt like they did that to make it harder on purpose.
Yeah.
So it. I'm not. Look, I'll be honest. I'm not the greatest person at roguelikes, but I feel like this is just beyond like to the point where there's some stuff going on wrong here. But hopefully, if I ever get past that first boss, I'll have better thoughts about it. Really. I also have the silver case that I downloaded, but I haven't started anything with either. And that's sort of, I think, everything since the last time we did something, if I'm not mistaken. So, I haven't, I think I, no, yeah. Shovel Knight is still awesome. So, and believe it or not, after playing with all three of the characters, I think the Spectre, I forgot his name. The Plague Knight is actually not the Plague Knight. The, whatever the new one is, that I can't think of his name right this minute. The Spectre Torment guy, he's actually the coolest and easiest one to control after playing with all three of them.
Yeah, I saw a video of him, and he bounces around constantly.
Yeah, I like that he bounces. Like, the Plague Knight is cool that you can shoot the bombs and you can make him sort of float. But it's also annoying because there's times where you're trying to get him to, like, where you can sort of control where the Spectre Knight goes, where you have to go diagonally with him, and then you can get him to go to the other one or whatever. Like, the Plague Knight, he flies a little bit, but you have to like jump up in the air and then get him to jump extra. And it's like sometimes if you do it wrong or you don't do it late enough, he'll jump the wrong way. And I don't know how many times I've died because I jumped the wrong way with him or whatever. So, but I like that they added something, but he definitely feels more like a sort of, we changed the skin, unlike the Spectre Knight, where that actually feels like its own thing.
You mean Plague Knight?
Is that what it is, Plague Knight?
Sure, I don't know. I'm just waiting for Cutman to be added into that game.
Yeah, I think. Well, they're supposed to be adding the one with the whatever the Golden Knight or whatever it is that gets added for free if you buy the treasure trove. So. Yeah, I guess there's a reason to buy the treasure trove thing, but yeah, that's it for me, I think. So let's get on to talking about stuff here. So they revealed that Scorpio obviously more powerful than the PS4 Pro. We all expected that. Nothing out of this world crazy. But I mean, does this make you any more or less interested?
I would say, I mean, if I had the money, I'd get one. But they've showed no games. They've said, like, we have no exclusive titles, even though they can't, like, officially yet. So, and no one else is, like, talking about it. Like, no developers are really talking about it. So what's the point?
Well, yeah, I think that they didn't say that they were gonna. I think they are gonna just do it at E3 where they show you the box and
yeah,
they're gonna show the the first games or whatever. But I just feel like they keep talking about premium price or premium console, and I think that $500 is you're gonna get that first wave that they're gonna buy it because they're gonna buy it and they're crazy and whatever, but it's not supposed to have any Scorpio specific games, right? So,
well, the two things I'll say is it'll be funny if the day they announce, it'll be $500 or whatever, is if Sony goes, we're lowering the price of the PS4 $250 to $350 for the Pro. Like, that would be hysterical.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
And the second thing is I'll get a Scorpio day one if it's shaped, if it's the shape of the box is the original Xbox box, which is like a giant chrome X. That thing was awesome looking.
I think.
I think it may even be more than $500, honestly. Like, you never know with Microsoft.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like, it could be.
Look at how much the Xbox One cost. Like the original, like the launch model.
It's not smart at all. Seriously.
Will it have a new Kinect in it? That's my question.
No. I would assume not.
Like Microsoft really does seem like lost like this console generation. Like, even aside from like the launch problems, like they just have not been able to catch their footing like at all.
Yeah, I mean,
and they keep relying on like,
well, the Xbox One S is doing okay.
Yeah, but that's just because they slashed the price on it so much. They but they keep relying on like their old franchises like Halo and Gears and Forza, and it's like these things are not hitting like the way they used to. Like, there are more options now. Like, get with it. And their original content, like that they try to launch, like Sunset Overdrive or Rise or like Recore, bombed or just didn't do well.
Yeah, I think it is. The thing is too, it's just, Recore was weird. Apparently, like it was good in the first half, and then all of a sudden, well, this is
when they cut out the fifth robot and said "fuck you." Like,
yeah, it's the thing is, it's weird that that none of their original stuff's really, other than Ori and the Blind Forest, sort of hit. And I think with Halo that you kind of just got Halo fatigue, sort of, because you had the Halo Master Chief Collection, you had the Halo, some other Halo thing that they put in there, and then Halo 5 comes out, and then it's missing all that stuff that people want.
Yeah.
And the multiplayer was
weird.
The multiplayer was messed up on Master Chief Collection for a while, and Rise of the Tomb Raider is, a lot of people seem to have like mixed emotions about that thing.
I liked it a lot, but I mean, that's not exactly like a system seller.
Right. It's just, Gears of War. I don't remember anybody really talking about Gears of War after it came out. Like, I mean, I remember it getting good scores and stuff, but not that people were just going, "Oh man, I'm sitting here playing Gears of War all day."
Or like Quantum Break when that came out. It's like that came and went in like a week.
Yep. Just Scalebound getting canceled completely. The Fables getting canceled completely. I mean, it seems like it's just been a bad console generation period for Microsoft. And the thing is too, like, they were hoping that 4K. By the time that Scorpio came out, they were hoping that 4K would be more prevalent. It's not.
Yeah. And also, it's like, as I always said, like, console power does not mean, like, it matters to an extent, but what matters more is, like, the third parties being interested in developing for it, or people, like, wanting to develop for it. Like, there's just not that much interest for the Xbox right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, it helps when Sony is just owning everything right now. I'm really surprised sometimes when I go and do the press inquiries to get the games for us that there are still games being made that are only Xbox and PC. I'm like, it amazes me. I think I got like 3 in a row that were only Xbox and PC. Now, I don't know if they're going to show up later on PS4 or not, but I was just like, wow, there's still indie games being made for only Xbox One. It's like you would think that would just have died quickly.
They probably got seed money to be only on Xbox One, though.
Yeah, probably. And I mean, even then, it seems like, and that's the thing. Like, when the Xbox One first came out, right? They were all about, oh no, you can't even show up first on another platform to show up on ours. Now they're all about, oh, we don't give a crap, and they're saying the same thing about VR.
Yeah.
Like, we want everybody basically. We're late to the party. Anybody that wants to make a game for Windows, VR, or whatever it is that they're using, please do. That's what it sounded like from Phil Spencer. Just somebody please make a game for whatever our VR thing is going to be. I just don't know that that's going to be enough to justify the $500 tag or whatever. I think as soon as you say something besides $400, after you get through the initial launch, you're going to have people going, well, this is another PS4 Pro that's going to be sitting around.
Yeah, well, once that happens, Xbox One, or like the original one, is just done. Like, let's be honest. I mean, they'll have the S around, but between the two, it's like, well, what are people going to buy instead? Like, they're positioning this thing as like their next like generational step. So, I mean, most people are going to try to go for that instead. It's not the PS4 and PS4 Pro where it's a half step, if that. Like, both consoles are, pretty on par with one another.
Yeah, I mean, Phil Spencer already said that the S is going to replace the original Xbox One.
No, I know that, but I just mean, like, just in terms of, like, the actual unit itself. Like, or, like, what its placement is going to be. Like, when the Scorpio comes out, it's like, who's going to buy an S anymore? Aside from budget people, obviously.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Like, when Scorpio comes out, it's more about how long is it going to take for Microsoft to get absolutely scared and go, we've got to start making Scorpio exclusive games right now. We've got to show off the power of this system with games that are not on the other console. We have to show everything. We got to get this thing to sell.
I say 3 weeks.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised that if at E3 itself you have it get leaked that there are exclusive Scorpio games.
Well, it'll be funny, like, this Christmas when they'll have commercials for, like, the new Call of Duty or a new whatever the hell is coming out for Xbox One this year, and it'll look great, but it'll be tiny print like this is taken from the Xbox Scorpio.
Well, yeah, it's like the PS4 Pro. Everything that they use on the commercials now is PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they want to do.
But
it's like
it's taken from the PS4 Pro, sure, but it's not such a leap like from the Pro to the original PS4. That's my argument. Like, it is a leap, sure, but it's 20%, or if that. It's not like, it's 3 times as better as what they're positioning the Scorpio as, the most powerful console ever made,
Well, even then, like, you're not going to see it if you don't have a 4K TV. So, that's another thing, too. You're not just buying the Scorpio. If you don't have the 4K TV, you're really wasting your money because you're not going to really be able to get the great power out of it. So it's almost like when that decision you have to make if you're going to buy a Vive or an Oculus with your PC. It's almost the same thing for the Scorpio. If you want to get a Scorpio, you're going to have to get a 4K TV. You don't have to. I think you can tell the difference on a regular 1080p, but it's not. That's where it gets that negligible, like, well, how much really better is this?
I have a suspicion that within 2 years, 4K is going to be done. Because remember, like, last year or 2 years ago with 3D TVs, it's like how they came and went, like, 2 years.
God, I felt like the 3D TV was even older, and it died even faster than 4K has.
Yeah.
Because nobody wanted to be sitting around watching stuff on with glasses on at home. It's one thing to do it for 2 hours in a movie theater. It's another thing to do it.
All the time when you're at home, just sitting around.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, I mean, it's cool to say, hey, yeah, I'm watching the basketball game with my glasses on. Woo, you know. I want to just take them off, basically, after a while. But, yeah, so we go from, and, credit to them, I guess, for waiting it out on VR and then seeing how this goes. Daniel, who's sort of a third member of the podcast that kind of comes on when he can be on, he got a PSVR recently. He says he really likes the headset. It's really comfortable. He had to try to make himself sick to get sick on purpose, so it's not something that he was playing Eve Valkyrie for a long, like at least 2 or 3 hours, and he had to really do stuff on purpose to try to make himself get sick. So it seems like they did a good job of keeping you from doing that.
Well, it's funny because my roommate was talking about he has one of the Samsung Gear VR things, and he was bitching about it earlier tonight. He was like, "Oh, I can't play for more than 10 minutes without getting sick," and I'm like, "Yeah, you're staring at your phone screen that's 2 inches away from your eyes. What do you expect?" Like, it's not a powerful type of VR machine. Like, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, exactly. It's not meant for that kind of thing. Well, plus you can play the PSVR sitting down most of the time. It's not really, you don't have to stand up and do stuff and
Yeah.
all that. So who knows what the Scorpio thing is going to be, but
HoloLens.
yeah. He's talked about that. He said that he doesn't even know if they could even make it any cheaper. So,
I doubt. Yeah, that thing's not coming out for like consumers. Let's say that.
Yeah. So, moving on from Microsoft stuff, we got to get to Nintendo, who had a direct today. I didn't even know about it until I happened to get the thing on YouTube. Go watch Nintendo's direct. So I watched it, and if you only cared about the announced games that we already knew about, ARMS has a release date of June 16th now, and they showed 7 minutes of a new character named Min Min, which is very stereotypical. She's Japanese. One of her arms can turn into a dragon, and her arms are made of ramen noodles. So
that sounds racist.
Yeah, but it's Japanese being racist to their own selves. So I guess it's okay. She controls it. Looks pretty cool. She can also kick, which is different than the other characters. So it goes to show that it's not just a punching game. You can kick in the game. And they revealed the 2-on-2 battle mode so that you can pass the other Joy-Con to your friend or whatever, and y'all both can play against the AI. So that's cool. I'm really excited for ARMS. That's one of the games that Nintendo's making that I'm really kind of jazzed about, I guess you could say. They revealed all the DLC stuff that if you had Mario Kart 8 on Wii U, hey, you don't have to buy this now. It all comes in the game. Minecraft for the Switch is coming. So if for some reason you still have not bought Minecraft, or I guess you can play Minecraft on your Switch and take it with you on the go everywhere if you don't have a tablet or something. What kid doesn't have a tablet at this point? And Yeah, I mean, Splatoon 2 got a release date of July 21st, so a month later. There's going to be a bunch of Splatoon amiibo, and there's a new mode called Salmon Run, which I'm not a big Splatoon person, so I kind of checked out when they got to this, which they did at the end of the show. There's finally freaking release dates for Cloud Amiibo and Bayonetta Amiibo. For God's sakes, 600 days you made people wait to find out when these Amiibo are coming out. Good Lord, Nintendo.
I thought they were already out.
No. You've been waiting that long. It's supposedly July 21st, along with the Splatoon 2. You can go get Corrin, Bayonetta, which has 2 outfits, and Cloud, which also has his Advent Children outfit. So, yeah, I'll be getting that Cloud amiibo at some point. I don't know when, but
I would only get a Cloud amiibo if he was dressed up from that, when he was cross-dressing to get in that Don's house.
yeah. The cross-dressing outfit.
Yeah.
And you can customize it.
With the 3 dresses and the 3 perfumes and the 3 wigs, yeah.
I just had a freaking. That was really She could have just followed me to message me privately. That seems kind of unprofessional. But I just had a PR person tweet at me to confirm if I had asked them for a game or not. I was like,
Okay.
Weird. Like, normally you just DM the person. So, yeah. They showed off Disgaea Complete, which I don't even know if I'm going to ask for that, because I have Disgaea 5 on PS4, and I don't know that I want to play through that again. I'm just being honest. I don't know that I want to play through that again.
You don't have to play through all of it. Like, you can just play for 2 hours and see if it's any different, and then,
I guess. That's true. Puyo Puyo Tetris, the demo got released today. If you have it on the U.S. region, I guess you could make an account and change it to the Japanese region, and could have got it a long time ago.
Which I told you to do.
Yeah, I should have done that. I just didn't want to have a bunch of different accounts, which I had to make an Australian account today for the Mr. Shifty, but that was interesting, having to make a different account, but it still all works. You just have to do it to download the game, and then you can switch it back.
Yeah.
Payday 2. Wow. Payday 2 is coming to the Switch. Fate Extella, which...
yeah, I'm sure that Payday 2 is gonna run great on that system.
Like you said, it can barely run on Xbox and PS4, so...
Yeah. Oh, I think it runs fine. It just has networking problems. They never fixed it.
Yeah, it's weird. Maybe they will get it to run because they don't have to have it be so powerful on the Switch. So they got it to run on PS3 and 360, so this shouldn't be that much of a stretch.
Yeah.
Fate Extella is good. Interesting because the story is very lovey and sometimes borders on, like, they're obviously talking about sex and whatnot. So a little bit of an adult game there for the Switch. That's, I guess, encouraging. Monopoly coming to the Switch. Well, if you wanted to play a board game that you can take with you, interactive one, I guess why not? The HD Rumble makes it feel like the dice is rolling in your hand, so yeah, I guess you can have that sensation. Or you can just buy Monopoly at the store
for like $6.
Yeah, seriously, like is it going to be cheaper or?
Well, Normal Monopoly is cheap. It's all the stupid like collector special editions that come out that are expensive. The Fallout Monopoly, the Doctor Who Monopoly. Those things are expensive.
Yeah, it's weird that. I mean, look, I don't think it's. I think it's fine for what they're trying to do, right?
Will it include Mario Monopoly or Zelda Monopoly? That's my question. Probably not.
Probably not. No. Yeah. So there's Monopoly. There's Sonic Mania. It's also going to be on Switch. So there's that. Sonic Forces, which kind of look cool. You get the 3D and the non 3D depending on which character you're controlling. Rayman Legends Definitive Edition. All right. Sinmora X, which has new stuff. So
I hate that game.
Cool. Kind of looked cool. You hate that game?
I played the original. I had to review it like a long time ago, and it was really terrible. It had one of the most like incomprehensible storylines of a game I've ever played.
That's so. What was it about, really?
Animal rape. That's all I remember, really. Yeah, it's weird. Like animal genocide, but like, rape is like a part of it.
Isn't that like what Tokyo Jungle is?
No, that's just a good game. Sinmora was not. And besides, Sinmora is like a bullet hell shooter. That's not hard.
Well, yeah, it looked like sort of like Gradius, or
yeah.
And then you get Namco Museum, which I will not complain about this game because any excuse I have to take Namco great games with me, awesome. So, and Battle Chasers looks interesting. So, cool that they're having that come out on the Switch. I'm excited for Ever Oasis on 3DS. It's the sort of the next spiritual successor to a Secret of Mana series, so I'm all for that. Monster Hunter Stories, also an RPG, so I'm all down for that. Yokai Watch 2, Psychic Specters, which feels like the crystal version of the two other Yokai Watch games, but it's supposed to be the definitive version, which basically that's what it is. So yeah, Colicep Revolt is a card game by NS America, and I'll be honest, it doesn't look great. I hate saying that because NIS America are like one of the people that like love us the most. So I hate saying bad things about their games, but and RPG Maker, I didn't know people made RPG Makers still. But NIS is bringing this to the 3DS, so that's kind of cool. I mean, look, having it with you, much better option than like doing on your PC or something. Bye Bye Box Boy, which Box Boy was always a fun game on the DS, so there's that. Miitopia, which is an RPG with the Miis. Everybody was just dying for that. Which I guess I shouldn't hate. There's games that have had weird characters that work. The Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia, which is the Fire Emblem 2 remake, is going to have a season pass. And Hey Pikmin has a release date. And it has this really cool amiibo. So, that might actually be one of those amiibo that I might be interested in. Because it looks kind of cool. I forgot to mention with the Microsoft stuff, another thing that they have taken from Steam, they are going to have a refund system for digital purchases. If you've had the game for 2 weeks and you played under 2 hours of it, you can return it.
Yeah. So you can play All Arise under 2 hours and get a quick refund.
Yeah. I just can't wait till this thing gets exploited really bad.
I mean, Steam's not that bad. Like I have refunded like 1 or 2 games for Steam, and it hasn't been terrible.
Microsoft's pretty good with the customer service thing, so I think they can figure it out. Just there's going to be people that are going to be like really trying hard to. I wonder if that's like how that's going to work with like a Telltale game. Like, could you realistically beat the episode and then decide you want to return it?
But they'll probably also look at achievements and say, well, you have 11 of the 12 achievements from this game, so what's up?
Yeah. You just know it's happening. But look, this is cool. I wonder if Sony is going to do this. You know how slow they are at adapting to. They're not as bad as Nintendo, but sometimes it takes like a couple of months or 6 months for them to go, oh, we should do this too. And so how long do you think before Sony says, oh, we kind of need to have returns?
I mean, Sony doesn't even still allow you to change your account name, so who knows?
Oh, yeah, that's right. They'll probably say it's like within the UI they cannot allow returns or something.
Yeah.
I still don't understand how it's so hard to go, hey, here's $5. Let me change my name.
Or like Sony doesn't. You can't, like with Microsoft, with the Xbox, you can just buy a game for whatever price it is. With the PS4, you still have a wallet system.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it still has the wallet system. I get funds put into my wallet every time I have to renew PS View.
Yeah.
Or when you buy it, it says, "Oh, do you want to?" I don't know. Is it? I mean, Microsoft lets you do it when you had the gamer points or whatever.
Yeah, but they got rid of that.
Thank God. That was so annoying to buy something and go, wait, this isn't really equal to $20. Thank you, Microsoft, for sort of scamming me, but okay. So much easier just to buy something. Hey, well, I should have mentioned this. We were talking about it. Persona 5 sold 1.5 million copies. That's pretty great.
That seems like a lot. Like, I don't know how well the teams normally do, but that seems like a large number.
Yeah, Nier Automata sold 1 million already, too. So, I mean, they have less time. I mean, Persona did this in a week.
Well, no, Persona is like worldwide. I mean, it's been on Japan for like 6 months now.
I know, but is that counting Persona, the Japan sales, though?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of... That'd be nice to know the sales without Japan included.
Like, do you have any thoughts on the Persona 5 like streaming stuff?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I forgot. My thing with it is, and I saw in Japan, like, they're limiting Puyo Puyo Tetris, too.
Well, it's an epic storyline, so you gotta censor that.
Yeah, it's exactly. They're censoring the story stuff and something else on that game. But, for me, I understand that there's going to be that small amount of people that might just sit there and watch the game be played and not buy it. But that is a very small amount of people. We're talking about insignificant amount to the point where it is not going to hurt yourselves at all. To me, you bought the game. As long as you're not... And we've seen people go on reviews, and the review you sent me where he's just breaking all his Mass Effect games. I mean... It's your decision to do with what you want. Now what you're doing is making people get more pissed, and they're more likely to go on out of spite and go, oh, you know what? I'm gonna buy me an Elgato, and I'm gonna spoil the crap out of this just to be an asshole now. And I think it's really crappy that you blocked it natively from the PS4. Like, I don't want to have to go buy an Elgato.
And you should have them send them review units to us.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. Like, this is 2017. This is what everybody does: is stream the game.
Well,
Everybody wants to have a Twitch and a YouTube and a, you know.
my thought is like Persona 5. Like it's not a worldwide release of Persona 5. Like that game has been out for 6 months. You could go on Wikipedia like the day Persona 5 was already out in America and see the whole story. Like who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Even though you don't understand it in English, you could still watch it be happening.
I mean, just on like Wikipedia, like you could see the whole plot summary of the game.
Yeah, but I think it's different, like to read it
Sure.
than to watch it.
I'm curious if they'll like somehow ban my Japanese copy of Puyo Puyo Tetris so I can't stream it anymore.
That would be interesting. You should do that just to see what happens. Well, I mean, maybe don't, because then you won't be able to play that game or whatever. But you know, hey, look, it's their game. They spent the hours and hours on the story, and if they want to make sure that you play through it, then power to them, I guess. But I think it's kind of just not thinking about the times that we live in and just technology that you have.
Actually, if I remember right, Puyo Puyo Tetris in Japan does block the story. It does not block gameplay.
That's funny, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of RPGs or just games that, you know, their story influence that sorry, the person finally decided to email me instead of stop tweeting me on, on Twitter. So, yeah, you know, there's a lot of RPGs that do it. Like they'll block certain cutscenes or whatever, but like they'll block the entire game. It's just
Persona 5 like when you get a trophy and it takes a screenshot, it doesn't even take that.
No, you can't take a screenshot. People were asking me like, why can't I take a screenshot of this game? And I'm like, they blocked it natively.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then specifically, you can't stream past 7.7, and you're gonna get a copyright strike if you do. And it's like, damn. That's why I didn't even bother trying to stream, because, well.
I mean, I hate to say it. This is all like you can trace this back to Giant Bomb to an extent, because when they did their like endurance run of Persona 4, like if you 9 years ago or whatever. But like that made that game like a lot more important, or that drove interest in that game. Like that's not what Japan seems to be missing. Like they don't get that part of the equation.
Yeah, but then like they did the endurance run when? Like years after the game's been out?
Yeah, they did it. I think Persona 5 launched in like I want to say 2007, and they did it maybe 2006, but it was late for a PS2 game. And they did it like a year or two after that.
Wow. Yeah, well, had they already announced Golden by then or something?
No, the Vita wasn't even out yet, I don't think.
2008 is when it says this came out. July 10, 2008.
Okay. They made it in the endurance run like, weeks or maybe even like months after that, but, it was 2008, I know that for sure.
Still, it seems kind of... It's just...
It's short-sighted, let's say that.
Yeah, it is. It's just... That's what I don't understand about it's free press for your game. People are watching it, and they're more than likely going to go, oh, I want this now, or no, I don't like it, I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah. I had a friend when I was playing Persona 5 earlier today. Go, do you think that, like he seen me playing it, for the past week? He's like, should I get that game? I'm like, well, you wouldn't like it, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's as somebody that hadn't played a Persona game until Persona 5, I felt like this is the same thing like Final Fantasy 15. This felt like I can play this game and I don't have to have known anything about the other ones or really have this big familiarity with the series because I played Q and that's about it. So, props to them for doing that. And it is what it is. There's a lot of games that choose to, hey, we don't care if you stream. When I got a game, one of the games that I had to, send to one of you guys today was like, go ahead and stream all you want to.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like this is a total knock against the Persona stuff and all that. But yeah, because there's so many games that like nobody discovers until you go, oh, let me watch this person on Twitch play it, and you go, oh man, how much is this? Oh, it's $10. Let me buy it. I want to play it now. It just, And Nintendo does this crap too.
There's too many games coming out, especially on Steam, for
Lord.
anything to like float to the surface.
Jesus, Steam is almost as bad as the iOS marketplace at this point now. It's like, goodness. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully, I wonder if they're going to do it with Puyo Puyo in America, or they're going to block it.
They've already said they are. I don't know how much they're going to block though, but I imagine it'll be the same scenes. Like you can stream gameplay, but not like the story.
That's fair enough, I guess. At least they're being upfront with it, so you know it before you buy it. Speaking of Japanese games, Yakuza Kiwami, or Kiwami, sorry, the PS2 to PS4 remaster. This has apparently been remastered so well that they're charging you $10 more for it.
It's only $30, isn't it?
Yeah, well, aren't the remasters supposed to be like $15 or?
I don't know.
Well,
I'd be happier paying $30 for a Yakuza game than $50 for Bulletstorm.
Oh no, I agree with you. So this is the first game, correct?
Yeah. But will it have Mark Hamill's voice back as Majima?
We shall see. Hopefully they'll make Yakuza 2 part of the remaster thing as well. Because you can get Yakuza 3 and 4 on PS3. So, yeah. Make sure, if hopefully, make sure you go buy this if you're a big Yakuza fan, because that might get them to make 2 as part of the remaster, then you at least have all the games.
I'll probably review it for one of the sites.
Yeah, I gotta remember to ask for that. So, and if both of us get a copy, I'm sending you the copy again this time. So, yeah, and again, sticking with the Japanese games, Bayonetta, sticking with Sega too. They today, or not today, but on
2 days
Tuesday,
ago. Yeah.
Bayonetta 1 came to PC. It has supposed to have like enhanced graphics and everything. So if you've never played Bayonetta before, go pick it up on PC if you have a really good computer.
And you don't even need a good computer. Like it runs pretty well on like low computers too.
Oh, okay.
But they released it for a good price, which is $20, which is what I would pay for Bayonetta on PC.
That is not bad at all. Yeah, I mean that's a really good price, and I like the idea that Platinum says they want to release more. We've seen a lot of these Japanese developers now, Square Enix, NIS America, Xseed,
Compile Heart.
Yeah, Compile Heart. Idea Factory's done a couple of them, so I think they're all getting smart to the fact of, hey, let's put this on Steam, where if they don't have that system, or maybe they play more games on their computer, just they can buy it there.
Yeah.
So,
Like, I really hope Vanquish comes to Steam. That's all I really care about.
yeah, I'd like to see that there as well. That's
well, I would like Vanquish and Bayonetta 2, but Bayonetta 2 is never going to happen.
We'll have to see.
Well, because it got published by Nintendo, so no way. And like Bayonetta 2 has all those like Nintendo costumes in it too.
Yeah, Nintendo could. Maybe if Nintendo gets a big cut of it or something. Or a bigger cut, or whatever, they'd let it go to PC. It's not like. I mean, if they make it for the Switch, I guess they could, but. I think I have seen somewhere where there's rumors that Bayonetta 2 might wind up on the Switch, but without the first game. So,
yeah, probably.
We'll have to see if that happens or not. Marvel Heroes, a game you play a lot, coming to consoles.
Yeah, that trailer was weird.
I did not see what was weird about.
Well, they didn't. They just like, oh, it's called Marvel Heroes Omega. It's like it's coming soon, but they didn't say like it'll be cross play with Marvel Heroes, or if you already have an account, you'll have all those characters in this one, or anything like that.
Well, hopefully they don't screw you over, but knowing Sony,
It's coming to Sony. It's coming to like PS4 and Xbox One, which is kind of.
I know, but Xbox sort of works with PC a lot more.
Yeah, but look at Warframe on PS4. Like I think that's crossplay.
I mean, they both do crossplay. I mean, you got whatchamacallit? You got Street Fighter. You got
I don't really want crossplay with like consoles specifically, but I just want my characters to be on the PS4 version.
Let's hope you can do that, because that would suck if you have to redo all that again. Do you really think, though, it's going to happen? Because that seems like stuff we don't see a lot.
Well, I can see them building in a system, like, from the PC client, like, here's a one-time code, enter it into PS4, and you'll have these characters or something like that.
That would behoove them, but it also behooves them to get a lot more money. So.
Yeah, but more people would play it then, at least, and then that generates income or revenue right there.
Well, I wonder if they're hoping that there will be a lot of people that just see Marvel and it's not on PC and go, "Oh, let me buy this."
That'll happen too.
Uncharted Lost Legacy, the side story, of course, with Chloe and Nadine. $40, 10-hour campaign, August 22nd. That seems like rock solid buying it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really I liked Uncharted 4, but the more time I spent, I thought about it. It's like, maybe that game franchise isn't for me.
Yeah, it's like an interactive movie, so
yeah.
You kind of have to put yourself out of the fact that sometimes you're not going to be playing a game and just watching it and be happy with that.
And committing mass genocide against people.
Yeah, that too. That, Nathan Drake's not the greatest person, but they tend to make it.
But he's jokey, so he gets by.
Exactly. Ubisoft director Alex Hutchinson, who directed Assassin's Creed 3 and Far Cry 4, has left Ubisoft to form Typhoon Studios. He also took, I think, somebody else from Ubisoft to make the games with him. I mean, we've seen this, but usually we see it like where they go into another branch of Ubisoft or something. So, and Ubisoft's usually pretty creative about kind of letting them do their thing. So, I wonder if they just said, well, we want to do something completely different. And they go, well, we're not doing that. And
We're gonna make a rhythm game, historical rhythm game. Let's do this.
what are you going to dance to?
Breakdancing George Washington.
You going to have Dixie? You going to break dance thing? It's always kind of it's good because you've seen these guys. You've seen guys leave studios and they go on to do really good things. We've also seen guys leave studios and they don't really get off the ground either. But I mean,
yeah, I'm reminded of that. Who was it? The guy from Infinity Ward. I think of Robert Bowling. He left Infinity Ward. And he made that studio and that zombie game that they showed at E3, and then 2 weeks later they folded.
Oh, yep. Speaking of that, has anything been said about Dead Island or whatever? That one that got showed at E3 and then it just disappeared?
Dead Island 2?
Yeah.
No, because they canceled it and then they gave it to another developer.
And then that developer did
Nothing
with it. So,
yeah.
wow.
It's a lot like Crackdown 3.
I wonder if it's finally going to get shown. We'll have to see.
Remember that Dead Island movie?
Oh, God. Don't remind me.
Well, no, because it never came out.
No, don't remind me that it ever was thought about.
Yeah. Based on the trailer for the game. If we can make a movie out of this, it's no, you can't.
There's so many of these video game movie ideas out there now. It's which one's really gonna get made? You got way too many, and I think not enough fans of those games to really make it worth the buck. But whatever's floating your boat right now, Hollywood. Naruto Legacy Edition. The Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Legacy Edition has the first through the fourth game to kind of put a nice little bow on the original Naruto games and the original Naruto story and all that kind of stuff, because they've now had a new anime with the Boruto series, which that's going to start a new game series with Boruto Shinobi Striker. So, which is where you have 8 people fighting against each other in a 4-on-4, brawler kind of thing. So, I don't know how that's going to go, but whatever works for you there. I mean, are you interested in a 4-on-4 brawler with Naruto?
I'd go with no. The only Naruto games I liked were the old PS2 ones.
Yeah, those were good. And
DBZ, they got too complicated and stupid. So.
Did you play that new DBZ?
Hell no. Oh, you mean Xenoverse? I played Xenoverse 1.
Was that complicated?
Yeah.
See?
Because they keep trying to make those games into a 3D space, and it never quite works.
That seems kind of weird. We have 3D fighters, I mean...
Yes, but they're always in the ground. Most 3D fighters don't fly around.
Yeah, it kind of gets into, Sonic territory, right? Where it's once you start doing something besides just kind of walking around...
Yeah.
You get yourself in trouble. Alright, so I think that kind of covers everything. There are quite a few games that are coming out next week. You got Shininess, which I still haven't heard anything about on my end. It's through that service, so they have to just decide to approve it randomly. Adam got it on Xbox One, which doesn't help you any.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Silver.
the PC version won't exactly help me any either right now.
I went back and asked them if they couldn't give me a PS4, if they'd give me a PC, and I didn't hear anything. So hopefully in a little bit. Oh, I forgot to mention that Josh Brolin's going to be Cable in Deadpool going forward. Deadpool and whatever going forward for 4 films.
Is it weird that he's both Cable, Cable and Thanos?
2 different universes, so it is weird though. It's but
hopefully Deadpool makes fun of that.
They should, man. They so should. Like, it wouldn't be Deadpool if they don't.
I personally would like Michael Shannon to be Cable instead.
Why do you say that?
He's a better actor. I like him more.
Fair enough. I feel like Josh Brolin only plays like that one role. And then, if it's not that, it doesn't, he doesn't do that great in it. You got the Disney Afternoon Collection coming out next week. Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap, which is a remake of an old game that's also coming to Switch along with PS4, Xbox One. And you got whatchamacallit? What? I just had it in my head and I couldn't.
Everything?
Everything is coming to PC, and there's some other game that I could. Yeah, it'll probably come to me when I'm not even thinking about it. Oh, Full Throttle comes out this week as well. So, the last of the remasters of the 90s Tim Schafer LucasArts games. So I wonder what he's going to do.
Start remastering Police Quest games.
Why not, right?
I actually like Police Quest. You laugh, but I have fond memories of Police Quest 4.
There's actually I don't know if it's a new Police Quest or whatever, but on that same service, there's This is Police Quest.
Well, it's like Cop Beat, or like Beat Cop.
No, it's a different game besides Beat Cop.
Oh.
So, yeah. I think, and maybe it's a new Police Quest. I don't know. Total War Warhammer is also coming out, so.
For Mac though, right?
For Mac, yeah. So why not? Let's go through that. So and a Rose in Twilight, which a lot of these games we already have somebody reviewing. So hopefully at some point on WTMnet.com you can go read our review of the game. So well, until next week, hopefully we will be able to talk to you again about what's going on in video games. Until then, enjoy your games, whatever it is you're playing. You can always hit us up at WTimSean, at WTim Network, and at Humanity Plague. Marc might say something snarky, who knows, to whatever you're playing. And if you have thoughts on the Persona streaming thing, you can hit us up on that. Lots of people have had thoughts on that. Heard so many podcasts talking about how either totally agreeing with them or on the opposite end. So, well, see you later, everybody.
Later.
The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.